Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Solimar beach fire that has burned approximately 1,100 acres. Fortunately, no structures have been lost, but Highway 101 in both directions completely shut down, and the Union Pacific Railroad closed as well until they can get a handle on this fire that is just encompassing this area between Solimar Beach and Emmawood State Beach and then back into the hills.
It's burning very hot as at the 5:51 hour, and we want to show you our Waze computer right now. If you do have to travel today, of course it's a holiday weekend, a lot of people need to either go from Santa Barbara or Carpinteria down south to Los Angeles, or the other way around if you're in Ventura trying to come north. Here's your best option. The 101 is shut down from La Conchita, basically, before La Conchita, if you're going south, to the 33. So you can't use the 101. Here's your best way to go. Now, it's going to be a slow go. There's no good answer here, but you can take the 150, all right? If you are coming down south on the 101, you can expect delays, and you get to the 150, pass Casitas Pass, get on the 150 at the Rincon, and then you can make your way. You can see it is slow go here. I mean, this is going to take you a long time, but if you have to go somewhere, you can. You're going to make your way around Casitas Lake into the Ojai area and then back down the 33, and that will get you back to the 101 and around the fire. So that's your best option, maybe?
Now you can come down 101 to Bates, get off and go to the 150. Local residents would know you could also go down to 192 in the Gubernador Canyon area and rejoin it there as well. And that'll get you but once you get on the 150 and go to Ojai, it's going to be bumper to bumper.
It's going to be slow. We got the Ventura County Sheriff's Department.
I was just going to say, we have to share the road as well.
Yeah, you got to share the road. And they're urging, since there's so much traffic on the 150, and they usually, it's a weekend, a lot of people like to jog or exercise, bicycle on the 150. They're urging people not to do that this morning because there are a lot of big rigs that are being diverted that way. It's not recommended that tractor trailers use the 150 because of the tight conditions when you're driving through there. But again, if you live in the area in Ojai or as you're heading back in the back countries of Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, just be cautious this morning. There's going to be a lot of heavy traffic out there due to the road closures.
It's a different dynamic this morning indeed. Ojai, Lake Casitas, Oakview, it's going to be slow and go, and we also have everything that goes on back there. It's a very active recreational area. All right, so let's get back to our aerial picture to show you why this is so important in so many different fronts. It looks like on the Solimar Faria Beach area right at the waterfront, it's calmed down. The Emmawood State Beach side has had a number of flare-ups on all sides of PCH, and we're very nervous about that this morning with the wind conditions that seem to be slowing down and kicking up, and now it's rolling over the hills back into areas we can't see very well, but we know we have 1,100 acres that have burned or are burning.
500 firefighters on the scene, and we have our reporters on the scene as well. News Channel 3 reporter Kelsey Gerkins is on the Ventura side of this fire, and CJ Ward has made his way to the Emmawood area, which is a little further south, just north of where Kelsey is, though. We're going to begin with CJ. He has an update for us along the 101. CJ?
Okay, we are just south of Emmawood along the 101 freeway, just along the shoulder. And if you look over my shoulder right here, you're going to see kind of what firefighters are up against. The fire jumped over the 101, is now heading down toward the water. And this is just one area. Right below us, it may be hard to see, but the trees beneath us have already burned. It shows how this fire has actually burned right down to the water's edge. Firefighters are all camped up down at Emmawood as well. And then if you go back, we'll show you over here to my right shoulder. This is where it's coming from. This is a ravine that's been burning it's been burning good for about the last half hour, 45 minutes or so. Helicopters have been making drops. A helicopter just moments ago made a drop here. So this fire has actually burned from the hills all the way down to the water's edge. We're going to throw it back up to you guys on TV Hill.
Thank you very much. And here's another look as we're starting to see the flames. As we saw earlier, it was a little darker out because they're dipping behind these hillsides. So we're getting a little harder to see, but it's still burning very hot this morning.
Thank God we have the aerial view now so we can see just what the potential is and the risks are for this fire to get into areas that are even more rugged and more difficult to attack. And so nearby, CJ, and up above on Highway 101 is Kelsey Gherkins, and she has been positioned there where we have seen the winds slow down and the winds speed up. And let's go out to Highway 101, essentially in the Emma Wood State Beach area where there is an active fire front there. And Kelsey, what's happening in your area of this Solimar Beach fire?
John, it is a lot calmer out here right now compared to how it was just an hour ago. If you look behind me, all you see is just kind of a light glow. All of that brush has been charred. There is thick brush just to the right of that, southbound on the 101, but that is not burned yet. Everything that is northbound, that is all charred in this area, but if you kind of look up in the hillside, there's this deep red glow. As you guys were just mentioning, this fire is kind of passed into above this ridge, and it's deep in that ridge, above this ridge here, but the smoke's pretty thick here right now. We do see some of these embers that we got from that last gust of wind. They have started on the other side of the fire there, and there is a little fire now on the other side of the freeway here, but definitely calmer out here now. No response out here for firefighters. They're battling the bigger blazes that are inside that mountain ridge, and I'm going to go ahead, pass it back to you, Joe and John.
Kelsey Gherkins right there on the Highway 101, right in the middle of the freeway, and that was on fire just a few minutes ago where she was standing, and fortunately that's calmed down, but that is not the end of the story.
No, and the winds are very shifty this morning, and if you live in the Santa Barbara area, they were howling overnight, so that's certainly a concern for firefighters, and Alan Rose is keeping tabs on all of that. And Alan, the winds really could be the make or break difference in fighting this fire today.
Yeah, exactly, Joe and John, and I hate to sort of paint the silver lining here in this picture, but Joey, I should say Kelsey and CJ both indicating that winds where they were weaker, and I really think that we've probably seen the worst of the winds in that area. Now, we're still under a wind advisory until noon Sunday as the Santa Anas will be kicking up, but generally speaking, the Santa Anas stay mostly east of Highway 33, even east of Ventura. If you live along the 126 corridor, you usually get hammered. If you live to the south around Oxnard and Camarillo, the 101, those are the spots that tend to see it the worst. And we will see some gusts in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range in those areas. Now, it's a high wind warning farther inland. We are expecting a lull, though, in the mountain areas mid-afternoon to mid-evening. That's going to be a common thread across the entire area, but the winds are expected to pick back up by Sunday morning. We'll have more live team coverage coming up starting at 6. Stay with us.